Welcome all of you. This is our sixth lecture in the series of online lectures. We are learning Economic Standard 12 of Maharashtra Board. Welcome to my class. We have already completed lesson number 1 and now we are learning lesson number 2, that is utility analysis. In our earlier lecture we had completed concepts of utility, relationship between total utility and marginal utility, law of diminishing marginal utility, that is DMU, which is one most important law in economics. Then we have already seen introduction, statement of the law and assumptions of the law, which were given on page number 10 to 13. See, concepts of utility. See, this portion from page number 11, this part has been reduced as 25% reduction in the syllabus for this academic year 2020-21. I'm very happy that Sadia has solved the exercise of chapter 1. Very nice. I'm very happy for you, Sadia. Keep going on. You have bright future ahead. And Murmai also. I'm very happy for Murmai that Murmai has solved this. Try this portion which I have given for as homework. Very good, Murmai. What we are going to learn today? We are learning chapter 2, that is utility analysis, and we are learning law of diminishing marginal utility, that is DMU. Okay. Now the next part, that is explanation of the diagram, which we learnt in our earlier lecture. Then exceptions to the law of DMU, criticism of the law, and relationship between marginal utility and price. And then we'll see the exercise, which are given on page number 10 to 13. Let's start with the lesson. See, before that I would like to tell you this. See, this is as per the press note which is given by Maharashtra Board. So from page number 14, column number 1 and 2 has been reduced for this academic year 2021 for the subject Economics Standard 12. See, we are going to see explanation of the diagram, then exceptions to the law of diminishing marginal utility. Now, on page number 14, again, this portion, that is significance of the law, entire significance law has been reduced as 25% reduction. Please note this.
Law of diminishing marginal utility, we need to obviously understand what utility and marginal utility are. Simply put, utility is a term economists like to use to describe the satisfaction you feel after consuming a product or service, whereas marginal utility represents the increase in utility you experience after consuming one more unit of that product or service. The law of diminishing marginal utility, also called Gossen's first law as a tribute to Hermann Heinrich Gossen, simply states that as you consume more, the marginal utility usually goes down. In other words, a glass of orange juice provides a lot of satisfaction when you're thirsty. You can drink another one, but it won't provide as much satisfaction as the first. A third glass might give you additional satisfaction, but not much, whereas as of a certain point, we're in negative utility territory because let's just say you probably won't feel too well after drinking the 10th glass. Of course, there are exceptions, anything from deriving more pleasure from binge-watching several episodes of a show rather than just one, to enjoying your stamp collection more as you continue adding to it, but all in all, the law of diminishing marginal utility provides a decent glimpse into how humans consume.
See, what the statement of the law says. According to Professor Alfred Marshall, other things remaining constant, the additional benefit which a person derives from a given increase in his stock of thing diminishes with every increase in the stock that he already has. Okay. See, in other words, marginal utility that any consumer derives from successive units of a particular commodity goes on diminishing as his or her total consumption of that commodity increases. In short, the more of a thing you have, the less you want to have more of it. Okay, now let's start with this table. See, table 2.2 explains the law of diminishing marginal utility. See, with the consumption of the units, increasing number of units, you will see the marginal utility is going down. Okay, it is diminishing. See, with the increase in number of consumption of units. See, that this is the column of units, consumption of units X, and this is showing the marginal utility which you got against consuming that unit or commodity, okay, against consuming that commodity. For example, after consuming commodity 1 for the first time, you will get the utility as 10, okay, and it will keep on decreasing with the increase in the number of consumption of the commodity. See, the table shows that marginal utility keeps on diminishing with increase in the consumption, and further it becomes 0, okay, and then it becomes negative. See, when we had reached at the point of satiety, that means at the 100% satisfaction of the consumption of a specific unit, where the satisfaction, more satisfaction has been finished, then we say that we have reached at the 100% satisfaction. At that time, marginal utility of consuming that product is 0. And if we still further keeps on continuing consuming of the product, then we may get harm from it, okay, that is called as disutility. Finally a point arises when it comes to a disutility. This disutility is called as, this disutility is shown on this graph, that is called as negative utility, okay, which can be harmful or injurious also. See, this curve or this graph shows the graph drawn against consumption of units of commodity, okay, marginal utility graph, okay. See, marginal at the consumption of 1 unit, marginal utility is 10. Then at this consumption of second unit, marginal utility is 8. At the consumption of third unit, marginal utility is 6. At the consumption of 4 unit, marginal utility is 4. At the consumption of 5 unit, marginal utility decreased to 2. Okay, and with the consumption of 6 unit, as we had reached the point of satiety, the marginal utility is 0. Okay, and even if we still continue consuming the product furthermore, then it reaches to minus, that it becomes to disutility. See, this part from 0 to minus 2 is called as disutility, that is negative utility. Okay, see, in the above diagram, units of commodities are measured on x-axis, right? This is x-axis, and marginal utility is measured on y-axis. Various points of marginal utility are plotted on the graph as per the given schedule. Schedule means table. When the locus of the point is joined, see, when this locus means intersection of the points are joined, MU curve is derived. Then we come at the MU curve like this. This MU curve means marginal utility curve slopes downward. Okay, it slopes downward from left to right. From left to right, which shows that marginal utility goes on diminishing with every successive increase in the consumption of a commodity. See, with every successive increase in the consumption of the commodity, this marginal utility keeps on diminishing, going down. When marginal utility becomes 0, right? When marginal utility becomes 0, marginal utility curve intersects the x-axis. See, when marginal utility becomes 0, it is intersecting. It means it is crossing to x-axis. Okay, it is crossing to x-axis. Further consumption of commodity brings disutility, that is negative utility, which is shown by the shaded portion in the diagram. Okay, this is disutility portion. Today we are going to see exceptions to the law of diminishing marginal utility. Okay, what is meant by exception first of all? See, law of diminishing marginal utility is based on some assumptions. But assumptions are always not proved true in the real sense. Those are against to the law of, okay, they can be also they can also prove the law to be false. There can also be some flaws or loopholes also in the laws. Okay, so that is called as, there are some assumptions to the law of diminishing marginal utility. Which are the assumptions? First it is hobbies, then miser, then addictions, then power and money. See, there are some assumptions, sorry, there are some exceptions. Okay, exceptions which violates the law of diminishing marginal utility. Okay, we are going to learn one by one. See, the first is hobbies. Okay, why hobbies is the exception to the law of diminishing marginal utility? See, what is as per the law of diminishing marginal utility? See, the consumer behavior that utility derived diminishes with the reduction in the intensity of want. See, as much as the person consumes more, his utility will decrease. But this is exception to that law. What is the exception? Hobbies. See, in certain hobbies like collection of various stamps and coins. See, the people are collecting stamps and coins. Rare paintings also some people likes to collect. Then collecting the music CDs, collecting the books for reading, etc. Or collecting of the magazine articles. Okay. See, the law does not hold true because every additional increase in the stock gives more pleasure to the person who is collecting because it is his habit, hobby. Okay, as he wants to cultivate his hobby, he keeps on increasing his stock. He keeps on collecting more and more stamps, more and more books, more and more paintings. Okay, so this increases marginal utility. See, as he keeps on increasing his stocks, his marginal utility, his satisfaction goes on increasing. Okay, it doesn't come zero, but marginal utility should be zero. Okay, marginal utility at reaching a specific point of satisfaction, point of satiety should come to zero. But when the person has hobbies like this, it is not coming to zero. This keeps on increasing. Marginal utility keeps on increasing. So it violates the assumption of homogeneity and continuity. Okay, it violates means it breaks the assumption of homogeneity and continuity. See, this lady seems to have the hobby of collecting yarns or wools. Next is miser. Who is miser? Miser is a person who don't want to spend at all. Okay, see, miser. In the case of miser, every additional rupee gives him more and more satisfaction. See, as much as money he collects, it gives him more and more satisfaction because he don't want to spend at all. See, marginal utility of money tends to increase with an increase in the stock of money. See, as and as more money he earns, as and as more money he gets, his satisfaction or marginal utility keeps on increasing. So, this situation ignores the assumption of rationality. Why? Who is called as rational? The rational consumer or rational customer is the normal one because he wants to satisfy all his needs. The person who are miser, who locks their money, don't spend their money because they keeps on increasing the stock of money. So this miser kind of people violates the law of diminishing marginal utility because marginal utility doesn't become zero. They don't never reach to the point of satiety. Their slopes never remains constant and then goes down for this kind of people. Okay, for this kind of people, the slope of marginal utility always goes on up and up. Okay, so they violate this rule of law of diminishing marginal utility. Third exception. Okay, see, for the addicted people, it is observed in case of drunkard that the level of intoxication, okay, the level of intoxication increases with every additional unit of liquor consumed. So marginal utility received by drunkard may increase because with every sip of liquor which he consumes, his marginal utility, his intoxication increases. So for him, the pleasure which he receives from drinking more and more liquor increases. So his marginal utility may be increasing. Actually, it is only an illusion. That is not actually true. But when he is drunkard, when he is in the state of when he is drunkard, he don't actually recognize it. Okay, he feels that his pleasure is increasing with the increasing of the step, increasing with every sip of liquor. This condition is similar almost to all kinds of addictions. Maybe smoking, maybe consuming the liquor, maybe drugs or injections. For all of the addictions, this mental condition is same. See, this again violates the assumption of rationality. Okay, because they don't reach to the level of satisfaction. Okay, they wants to consume more and more. Next exception is power. See, this is again one important concept. This is an exception to the law of diminishing marginal utility, because when a person acquires power means which power? Political power. See, when a person acquires power, his lust for power increases. He desires to have more and more of it. See, how more and more? Suppose a person was just a worker for a political party, then he wants to become a municipal corporator, then he desires to become a minister, then again he will desire to become a cabinet minister, then he may desire to become a MLA. Okay, so his desire to have more and more for him, the satisfaction for power doesn't become doesn't come to an end. Okay, it's keep on increasing and increasing. Okay, so these kind of people who are lust for the power breaks the rule of diminishing marginal utility. Okay, so this again violates the rationality assumption, because those are the people who wants to have the power, more and more power, don't have the rational consumptions. Okay, because they are not thinking normally. Next is money. See how money is breaking or violating the law of diminishing marginal utility. See, it is said that marginal utility of money never becomes zero. It increases when the stock of money increases. This is because money is medium of exchange which is used to satisfy various wants. However, according to some economists, this law is applicable to money too. See, this law is applicable for money also. For example, marginal utility of money is more to a poor person than to a rich person. See, for the poor people person, the marginal utility of rupees 1000 may be too high, whereas if it is a salary of 1 hour only for a rich person, then the marginal utility of rupees 1000 is very less for him. So this is a subjective concept. Okay, so marginal utility for a poor person may be different, much different than the marginal utility of a rich person. Okay, so money cannot be the concept. Also, money violates the law of diminishing marginal utility. However, these exceptions are only apparent. Okay, since they violate some of the other assumptions of the law, and hence they are not real exceptions. Okay, now let's go to.
Hi. Have you ever wondered why that the more and more you choose to consume of a good, the less and less pleasure you get from it? The reason is simple. You are experiencing what is known as the law of diminishing marginal utility. So how does this concept affect the price a consumer is willing to pay for a good? Well, think about it. Let's say you complete a marathon in the heat of a Texas summer. That means you have run 26.2 miles under the hot Texas sun. As you approach the finish line, you are hot, tired, and very thirsty. What would you pay for a sports drink? How good would that first drink of the sports drink taste? Ah. After gulping down that first bottle, you're still thirsty, but no longer dying of thirst. Would a second sports drink be as satisfying as the first? How much would you be willing to pay for that second water bottle? After drinking the second bottle, you aren't as thirsty anymore. Would a third sports drink be as wonderfully refreshing as the first? How much would you be willing to pay for that bottle of sports drink now? If you get less and less pleasure from a good, the more and more you have of it, that affects your willingness to pay the same price for each additional module of the good. That's the law of diminishing marginal utility.
See, there are some assumptions, right? For the if we want to prove the law of diminishing marginal utility, as well as there were some exceptions which we saw. But apart from that, there are some criticisms also. Okay, what is meant by criticism and who makes these criticisms? See, some economists make some laws, right? Then there are some economies which do not agree with these laws, or which do not the economists which do not agree with the laws which the other economist has made. So they create some criticisms. Some economists says that the law of diminishing marginal utility, which is based on some assumptions, has loopholes or some points which will make that law to be false, or which will not fulfill, or which will violate the law of diminishing marginal utility. Okay, or some points which are difficult to fulfill the law of diminishing marginal utility. So that is called as critics. Okay, so there are some criticisms of the law. Which are the criticisms of the law? See, the law of diminishing marginal utility has some criticisms. See, first criticism is it is unrealistic assumptions. It is based on unrealistic assumptions based on cardinal measurements, the indivisible goods, indivisible, constant marginal utility of money, and a single one. Let's see one by one. The first criticism is unrealistic assumptions. Okay, the law of diminishing marginal utility is based on various assumptions that we have seen. Which are the assumptions? The product must have homogeneity. There should be continuity in the consumption. There should be constancy in the behavior of the consumer. The consumer must be rational. Okay, etc. There were many assumptions there when we want to prove the law of diminishing marginal utility. But in reality, it is difficult to fulfill all these conditions at a point of time. See, in reality, all may not be true. See, is it always possible that consuming the apples of the same size, shape, color, taste, is it possible? No. In reality, it is not possible. In reality, it is not possible the consumer is consuming the product continuously. In reality, we may not assume that all people in the society are realistic. There can be edits also. So edits violate the law of diminishing marginal utility. See, the another example is the continuous consumption or constancy cannot always be achieved, right? We cannot, our taste may change. We cannot always get the pleasure by consuming the same product again and again. So these are the unrealistic assumptions. Okay, so these are the critics as per the critics. Next is cardinal measurement. See, as per the law of diminishing marginal utility is measured in terms of numbers. Okay, the law assumes that utility can be expressed cardinally or it can be added, compared, presented, or mathematical operations can be done like subtraction also. Okay, through a schedule. Schedule means table. Okay, in the table we calculate it in the numbers. In reality, cardinal measurement of utility is not possible because utility is a psychological concept. See, utility of something is psychological concept. We may get higher utility, we may get lower utility, or we may not get any utility, or even we may get this utility of consuming something. So utility cannot be measured in numbers. It is a psychological concept. It is a subjective concept. Okay, but so cardinal measurement that utility can be measured in numbers becomes false. It violates. So it is a criticism. Next is indivisible goods. What is meant by indivisible goods? The goods which can be divided into parts. See, as per the law of diminishing marginal utility, the law is not applicable to indivisible goods and bulky goods like refrigerator, car, TV sets, etc., which are normally purchased in single unit at a time. See, for example, in while learning the law of diminishing marginal utility, what we saw that the parts should be divisible. The consumer, whatever is consuming the product, it can be divisible into parts, right? See, that's why we had seen that parts, it can be divided into parts. But is it always true? Can everything, can the all the things be divided into parts? No. For example, durable goods like TV, television, refrigerator, washing machine, car, can those be divided into parts? Is it possible that the such goods are divided into parts? See, it cannot be divided into parts and consumed. Okay, we cannot divide it into parts. See, see the assumptions of law that is based on that good is divided into parts. That is, marginal utility can be measured by making parts of that material or commodity. But is it possible for these goods, consumer goods? No, it is not possible for the durable goods. So, which are utilized would be divided because which cannot be divided because when we purchase the things once in a lifetime, or see, for example, car can be purchased by a person once in a lifetime, or at least he consumes at least he purchase after 10-15 years. See, these durable goods. See, it is purchased once. Such goods are purchased only once. Okay, and they do not consume more and more again. Okay, we do not consume more and more again. So marginal utility of such commodity is very less if we compare as per the, if we create the chart or graph or schedule for consuming these utilities, these products. See, marginal utility becomes very less because we don't consume them again and again. So second chance, third chance will not come again and again. So marginal utility can be less, right? Next is constant marginal utility of money. Okay, see, of money. The law assumes that marginal utility of each unit of money remains constant. Each unit of money remains constant. However, critics argue that marginal utility of money differs from person to person. It is influenced by changes in prices, stock of money, etc. See, what is this? The marginal utility of money is different in different places. Okay, it changes as per the changes in prices. Okay, see, this is what, this is again shown the changes in the stock of money or changes in the prices, because today's stock rate was 400 for one country, maybe 800 for another country, right? So it depends on the stock of money and changes in prices, or it can be different from person to person. See, the marginal utility of money differs from person to person. For a poor person, it may be very high, whereas same marginality for the real rich person can be, for the same amount, can be very low. See, some people are very greedy for the money. See, the realistic example which we saw in these days. See, the entire world is stuck with lockdown. Why? Because corona has spread everywhere in the entire world. See, many people in Italy or many European countries threw the money on the roads. You must have seen the pictures or photos on the television. Some people threw the money on the road. Why? Because these days everybody felt health is more important than money. How much money a person would have, but if he doesn't get cured by any of the diseases, he don't have the value of that money. I mean, we have seen many news that people are throwing money on the roads, right? People are throwing money because they, how rich they are, but they feel that there is no value of the money. But similarly, if a poor wants the treatment in the hospital and he don't have the money, then he may have lots of value of that money. So marginal utility can be more for the poor for treating the same disease. Okay, so the marginal utility of money can vary from person to person. See, people has to pay lots of money for going to the hospitals and for doing the treatments. So the price would, if the price would be depending on the marginal utility, then the price of such commodity should have been very less. Okay, but it is not happening in real sense. As per this law, utility is measured with reference to money. That is why marginality of money is considered to be constant. But in reality, marginal utility of money is not constant. That is why money is not the reliable and certain measure of marginal utility. Okay, the other assumption of this law also says that marginal utility of any commodity does not affect the consumption of other commodity. Is it true? No. But in real sense, it is not possible. Okay, so estimating or analyzing the marginal utility precisely on the basis of money is not possible. Next assumption is single want. See, when we learn the assumptions of marginal utility, diminishing marginal utility, we learn single want. Okay, the law is restricted to the satisfaction of a single want at a particular point of time. What we learn, that person should, while learning, see why the assumptions are made. So learning of any law should be easy. It should be simple. See, but is it possible that a person satisfies his all wants at a point of time? No. In reality, a man has to satisfy many wants at a point of time. See, he has to satisfy many wants. There are many desires in his mind to satisfy at a single point of time. Okay, see, he has many wants, many desires, many, he wants to have many things in his hands. Okay, so law is not restricted to the satisfaction of a single point. So again, this point violates the law of diminishing marginal utility. Okay. Now, after completing the criticism of the law, the next point, that is significance of the law from here up to here, has been reduced. Okay, as per the new press note released by Maharashtra Board for the academic year 2020 and 21 only. Okay, though that significance of law has been reduced, but the most important part for that topic, that is fourth point of significance of law, that is basis of law of demand. See, the law of demand is based on the law of diminishing marginal utility. Law of demand, which we are going to learn in our next lecture. So, though it is reduced, though it comes in the reduced portion, but it is a very important part. Okay, without reading it, without going through it, we cannot go further and learn the remaining part. Okay, so we'll just read it. The law of demand is based on the law of diminishing marginal utility. According to the law of demand, the quantity demanded of a good rises with a fall in price and falls with an increase in the price. When a consumer purchases more and more units of a good, its marginal utility steadily declines. Hence, he would buy additional units of a commodity only at a lower price. Right? See, when we reach at a specific level of satisfaction, right, we will steadily buy. It will come on steadily declining. Slowly, it will come to declining. And we have lots of the units. Okay, then we buy the additional units at a lower price. Okay, when we will buy the additional units at a lower price. See, this is called as law of demand, which we are going to learn in detail in lesson number 3. See, at specific point we don't want it. We don't want to have it. We don't want to consume it, right? We deny it. Okay. And if we still want to buy it, then we still want to consume it, we will tend to buy it at a lower price. Okay. See, when we reach to the satisfaction level, okay, the graph of marginal utility goes on declining. Okay. So the graph of utility, the graph of marginal utility goes on declining. See, after reaching specific satisfaction level, there is no use of more and more consumption. Okay, it just goes on wasting and it becomes a disutility or harmful. Now let's see relationship between marginal utility and price. Let us discuss the relationship between marginal utility and price in order to understand how the law of diminishing marginal utility forms the basis of law of demand. Okay, if you want to learn the next lesson, that is law of demand, what should be clear, which concept should be clear? That law of diminishing marginal utility must be clear, because it is a basis to learn law of demand. Okay, it is a base. Okay, see, relationship between marginal utility and price we have to learn, because in order to understand the law of diminishing marginal utility forms the basis of law of demand. It is a perfect example of practical application of the law of diminishing marginal utility. If we learn the relationship between marginal utility and price, okay, then it would be a practical example or application to learn the law of demand. See what the statement says. Other things remaining constant, the additional benefit which a person derives from a given increase in his stock of a thing diminishes with every increase in the stock that he already has. Means marginal utility that a consumer derives from successive units of a particular commodity goes on diminishing as his or her total consumption of that commodity increases. Okay, the more of a thing you have, the less you want to have more of it. And what the fourth point of basis of law of demand says? See, when a consumer purchases more and more units of a good, consumer is purchasing more and more units of a good, its marginal utility steadily declines. Steadily declines. Okay. Means he would buy additional units. These additional units he will buy after reaching this point of satisfaction. He will buy the additional units of a commodity only at a lower price. He will pay the higher price till reaching to the level of satisfaction. Okay, but once he got the 100% satisfaction, okay, it steadily declines and he tends to buy the commodity at a lower price. That we are going to see in relationship between marginal utility and price. See, the more and more things you buy, you think to compare. You think to compare cost with benefit, right? See how much of benefit you are going to get by spending that much of cost or that much of amount, right? You think to compare. You start to analyze, calculate marginal social cost, right? You start to analyze the cost. Okay, you start to think, should I buy this additional unit at this price? Okay, see, you start to think that are you getting the marginal benefits by spending that marginal cost? Okay, you start to think, you start to analyze that how much of benefit, additional benefit you are going to get by spending that additional cost. Okay, see, marginal utility is the additional satisfaction a consumer derived by consuming additional unit of the commodity. That is called as marginal utility. To understand the relationship between marginal utility and price, it is essential to convert marginal utility in terms of money so that it can be compared with market price. Okay, how to compare? By comparing it with the money. Now how we compare? See, for example, this boy is purchasing some ice creams. Okay, and after purchasing the ice cream, he is finding that price of that ice cream in terms of utils. Okay, see, he is analyzing the taste of that or whatever satisfaction he is getting, he is calculating in terms of utils. Okay, so to make the study easy, we have to compare the price of the money with we have to compare the money with the market price. 1 unit of marginal utility for the it is assumed that 1 unit of marginal utility, okay, is rupees 10. Okay, unit of marginal utility, 1 unit of marginal utility, it is assumed that it is rupees 10. Okay, that satisfaction of one marginal utility is calculated with rupees 10, and the market price of one unit is 1 unit. The market price of 1 unit is rupees 50. Okay, see, for example, if the boy is consuming the ice cream, okay, the market price of that ice cream is rupees 50, and the marginal utility what he gets for the first time after having that ice cream is rupees 10. Okay, the marginal utility 10 he is getting from first time of having that ice cream. Okay, and the price of that ice cream is rupees 50. So if we consider like this, then it would be easy to understand the next schedule. See, this is the relationship between marginal utility and price. Okay. See, number of units consumed are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And marginal utility of consuming X. For the first time when you consume the product X, commodity X, the marginal utility which you get derived from the product is 10 utils. Okay. For the second time, second consumption you get 8 utils. With the third consumption you get 7 utils marginal utility. With the fourth consumption you get 5 utils. Okay, then see, when you get the 10 utils utility of 10 utils with the consumption of first unit, what is the price of one utility? One utility is rupees 10. So when we consume 100, when you consume one first unit and the price of unit is 10 and the marginal utility is rupees 10, then what is the marginal utility in terms of unit? 100. Okay, for example, the boy purchased one ice cream, right? The boy purchased one ice cream, and what is the marginal utility of that ice cream? 10. He said that I got the 10 marginal utilities, 10 utility from that consuming of that ice cream. What is the price of that ice cream? 10 rupees. What is the price of that ice cream? Rupees 10. And he said that 10 utils he got Now while learning the relationship, this 10 is converted into rupees. Okay, so what is the total money, total value he got for, while consuming that ice cream? First ice cream, it would be 10 rupees is the price of that ice cream, and 10 rupees which he got the satisfaction, which is converted into rupees for clear easily understanding, it would be 100. Okay, it would be 100 for the first time. Okay, and see, market price of that unit is rupees 50. What is the market price of that unit? Rupees 50. It is assumed. So when you got the 100 marginal utility and the market price of that unit is 50, what you got? You got more satisfaction. Okay, when your satisfaction utility is compared with the market utility, okay, simply I can say that when your utility is compared with the market price, what you got? You got more satisfaction. Okay, means marginal utility which you got is more than its market price. Okay, it's more than its market price. Then when you consumed 8 second unit, okay, when you consumed one more unit of ice cream, okay, one more unit of ice cream, what is the price of ice cream? 10. And how much satisfaction he got? 8 rupees. Okay, so how much of marginal, how much of money, marginal utility in terms of money he got? 8 into 10, that is 80 rupees. Okay, what is the market price of the money? 50 rupees. So if we compare the marginal utility with the market price, there is still he is in profit. Okay, because he got 80 utilization. If we compare marginal utility with the market price, he is still in benefit because he got 80 utility, 80 utilization, satisfaction. Okay, so it is in increased in profit. With the third consumption of the same ice cream, okay, with the third consumption of same ice cream continuously, one after the other, he said that he got the marginal utility in C1 UTs. Okay, if C1 UTs are converted into money, the price of that 7 UTs is rupees 70. Okay, means the price of this three units is 70, and the price of the satisfaction of these 3 units, price of the satisfaction or the marginal utility of these 3 units is 70. Okay, and what is the market price of those unit? It is 50. So still there is benefit. Okay, still he has the satisfaction after consuming this. Okay, then he consumes one more ice cream. He consumes one more ice cream. Okay, after consuming my fourth ice cream, he says that I'm satisfied now. It's enough. It's okay. I have reached the satisfaction level. So what he says that the marginal utility is 5 now. Okay, so after having the fourth ice cream, okay, how many what is the marginal utility? 10 into 5, because he said that I got the 5 utility, so 50 is the marginal utility of the consuming of this ice cream. And what is the market price of it? It is 50. So after reaching this level, if he compare his satisfaction with the market price, he will say that it is equal. Okay, the marginal utility is equal after consuming these 4 ice creams. Okay, that he has reached to the level of satisfaction. He has level to the level of 100% satisfaction, that is point of satiety. If he still further continues to consume ice cream number 5, then he will say that I got the less utility. See, the less utility, that is utility 3. After consuming 5th ice cream, he will say that he got utility 5. Okay, utility 3. If that is converted into money, then the money of that marginal utility is 30. And what is the market price? It is 50. So is he in profit now? No, he is in loss. Okay, he didn't get any positive utility for after consuming the 5th ice cream. Okay, so the marginal utility is lesser. Okay, when he consumed the extra unit after reaching to the point of satisfaction. Okay, it got declined. Still, if he continues further having more and more ice cream, that is the 6th ice cream, okay, what will happen? It will 100% become injurious for him. It will prove to be harmful for him, because he says that he got the marginal utility 1 unit only. So after consuming 6th unit, if he got marginal utility 1 and that is converted into money, then we can see that 10 rupees marginal utility he got. Okay, and what is the price of market price at the same time? 50. So is he in profit? No. So 10 market utility is obviously much smaller, very smaller than market price of that utility, of that commodity, that is rupees 50. So table 2.3 explains the relationship between marginal utility and marginal utility price. Marginal utility measured in terms of utils and the same converted into money. If is converted same into money by multiplying it with 10, we will get the comparison between two. Okay. See, the table shows that a consumer starts buying units of a commodity X for his consumption, one after the other. Marginal utility which is added to his stock goes on diminishing. Okay, it goes on diminishing with every further unit consumed. As in more and more units he consumed, it goes on diminishing. When marginal utility is converted in terms of money, see, it is converted into money. For every consumption utility, every unit of utility, it is multiplied with rupees 10. Okay, when marginal utility is converted in terms of money, okay, one can easily compare it with the market price which is shown in column 5. Okay, so marginal utility converted into money, we will get some price. Marginal utility in terms of money we will get for every utility, for every utils. Okay, and we have to compare that utility with the market price. Okay, so we can compare it with the market price with every consumption of unit. Okay, with all consumption of unit. See, for the first 3 units consumed, it is found that marginal utility in terms of money is greater. See, it is greater. It is greater and greater for the 3 times. It is greater than the price paid. Okay. So we have paid the price rupees 50. But how much of satisfaction we got? 100 for the first time, 80 for the second time, and 70 for the third time. So the marginal utility in terms of money is greater than the price paid. A rational consumer means a normal consumer whose consumer behavior is normal will willing to buy these units. How much of units he will buy? Since the benefit is derived is more than the price paid. How much the benefit which he derived, the satisfaction which he derived should be more than the price which he paid. But till then he will keep on continuing the consumption or continue buying. At the 4th unit, the marginal utility and price becomes equal. Okay, here the marginal utility and the price becomes equal. So the consumer can also think of buying the 4th unit. Okay, so he will think, should I buy one more because I am not getting more satisfaction over here. Okay, my satisfaction has been reached at the 100% level. Okay, so he will think of buying. In the case of 5th and 6th units, if he still continues to buy, the marginal utility derived is less. See, marginal utility is derived is less than the market price. What is the market price? 50. So the marginal utility derived is lesser than the market price. So the rational consumer will not pay further once the equality equality between the marginal unit and the price is established. See, when the equality between the marginal unit and price was established, when he consumed 4 units of the commodity. See, when he consumed 4 units of the commodity, he found that he had reached the 100% satisfaction. Okay, so he found that he had got the 100% marginal utility. So he will not think of buying it more. So this point is called as the equality between marginal equality and the price. So we can say that here the equilibrium has been achieved. Okay. A rational consumer will not buy further. He will not buy further once the equality between marginal unit and price is established. Here at this point it is established. See, from the given table 2.3, following inferences means conclusion can be made with reference to the marginal utility and price. Okay, if we compare them. units which a consumer willing to buy because marginal utility is greater than price are called as intra-marginal utilities. See, units means this consumption of units. Okay, units which a consumer willingly buys, happily he buys. Why? Because the marginal utility, that is the satisfaction, is greater than the price of that commodity. Okay, see, in these three cases, for this consumption of these 3 units, whatever satisfaction he got is more. Okay, it is more than the price of that commodity. Okay, it is more than the price of commodity. This level, when the consumer is willing to buy because the marginal utility which he got after consuming the products was higher than the price of the commodity, it is called as, this level is called as intra-marginal utility units. The consumption of these units are called as intra-marginal units. Okay, so when there is the condition of intra-marginal units, the marginal utility of product X, of marginal utility of consuming product is X, is more than the price of X. Okay, marginal utility of consuming the product X is more than the price of X. This stage is called as intra-marginal units. Next, then units at which marginal utility becomes equal with the market price. Okay, at this fourth stage, after consumption of the fourth unit, marginal utility becomes equal with the market price. This is called as consumer's equilibrium. This is the stage of consumer's equilibrium. See, it is a state of balance that can be achieved by consumer from the purchase of goods and services, given their present level of income and current level of prices. Okay, that is the definition of consumer equilibrium. See, what does, in simply what we can see, after consuming the fourth unit of ice cream or unit of any commodity, the marginal utility got which he got in this case, in this example, is equal with the price of that commodity. This is called as marginal unit. Okay, this is called as consumer's equilibrium, when the marginal utility of consuming product X is similar to the price of X. P is what? Price. M is what? Marginal utility. Marginal utility of consuming product fourth unit is same, equal with the price of the commodity X. Right? This is called as point of equilibrium, consumer's equilibrium. Okay, if we still further continue consuming more and more units which a rational consumer is not willing to buy and consume, where he has to pay more than the marginal utility, are called as extra marginal units. See, when he reaches at a specific level that he has to pay more than his satisfaction, more than his utility, then he is unwilling to pay it, unwilling to buy it. Okay, and if he still has to buy, then he will like to buy it at the lesser price. Okay, see, that is called as the basis of law of demand. A rational consumer, which is a normal consumer, is not willing to buy and consume where he has to pay more than the marginal utility. See, price of the commodity is 50 and what satisfaction he got? 30. So he is not willing to pay it or willing to buy it. Okay, this is called as extra marginal utility. It is more than extra marginal units. Okay, these units are called as extra marginal units. Okay, and the earlier where this was marginal units. These were marginal units which we got at the consumer's equilibrium, and these are extra marginal units. Okay, these are extra marginal units, and these three are intra marginal units. Okay, because the satisfaction which we got is the utility from after consuming these products which achieved is more than the price of the commodity for this after up to consuming these 3 units. Okay, and this is equilibrium, and this is extra marginal units because the price which he is paying is more than the utility which he got, so he will not be willing to buy and consume it for the same price. If he still wants to buy, then he will pay at the lower price. Thus, a rational consumer attains equilibrium where marginal utility of product X is same as the price of X. Okay, is equal to the price of the commodity X. marginal utility of the commodity X is equal to the price of commodity X. This relationship between marginal utility and price paved the way of law of demand. Okay, paved means it made the base. Paved means road. Okay, way. So this concept can be studied, can be considered as the base to learn law of demand, which we are going to learn in next lesson. See, consumer, what is the consumer's behaviors? He thinks again and again. How much should be paid? See, this is he thinking. He is thinking again and again. How much should be paid for the same price? How much I have already in my stock? Okay, is there? See, these are the perishable goods. For example, these are the perishable goods. Do I have the refrigerator to make the stock of these goods? How much should be the value of these goods if they perishes? Okay, so he thinks again and again. So this is called as this is the basis of law of demand. Okay, see, if those are non-perishable goods also, then he will choose among them and he will make a wise decision as per his demand. Okay, he will make a wise decision as per his demand. See, if he goes to pay after purchasing the things at the point of sales, then he will think again and again. He will measure his wallet, right? What he will measure? He will measure his wallet. Okay, wallet is there, and he will take the wiser decision. Okay, do he still require it or no? Okay, she will think in 100 rupees how much of utility will she get after drinking one cup of tea and one cup of sandwich. Okay, so law of demand is law of demand is studied in this case. Okay, in these cases, because consumer takes the wise decisions. See, these are the two economists which have coined the terms of and many consumptions in law of diminishing marginal utility. And this is the exercise. Question 1, that is for choose the correct answer. See, this is the homework for you because you are going to get a big vacations on account of Ganesh Chaturthi festival. So I expect that you read the entire lesson, you watch all the videos which are based on this lesson and on the earlier lesson, and you solve this question. If you still have the query, you can ask me the question. You can ask me the query in the comment box. In any of the 3 lectures of this lesson number 2. Okay, because I already solved lesson number 1 along with you. See, question 1 is the choosing correct answer. This can be asked for 1 mark. Okay, then choose the correct option. Okay, this is you have to match the pair. Then identify and explain the concepts from the given illustration. Okay, you have to identify which concept is hidden in this statement. Okay, I have already told you while solving the exercise of lesson 1 how to solve such questions and how much of weightage is there for such questions and how this question can be solved properly. Okay, how to identify the assumption and how to give its illustration and give its reason. Okay, this question I have already told you. Question number 4, observe the given table and answer the questions. Okay, this kind of question was not given on lesson number 1 because we have to read this table properly and answer these questions. Okay, this is again asked for 4 marks. Next, answer in detail. This is asked for 8 marks. State and explain the law of diminishing marginal utility with exceptions. Okay, so we have to define the law of diminishing marginal utility. Okay, we have to explain it with its marginal utility and exceptions. Okay, I hope that you solve this exercise in the vacations of Ganesh Chaturthi. Ganesh Chaturthi is arriving just within 2 days. What we will learn in next lecture? See, when will be our next lecture? Our next lecture will be directly after the Ganesh Chaturthi vacation, after completing the vacations of Ganesh Chaturthi. That is probably on 2nd of September 2020. See, what we will learn in our next lecture, we'll start with chapter number 3, that is demand analysis. There are again 2 parts, subparts, that is 3A and 3B. What is there in demand analysis? We are going to learn introduction, meaning of demand, definition of demand, demand schedule, individual demand curve, market demand schedule, and market demand curve. Okay, these points, 8 points you are going to learn, which are given on page number 17 to 18. See, there is lots of vacation, and I hope that you read the book. You read lesson number 1, solids exercise, lesson number 2, solids exercise, and you should also read lesson number 3. You should also go through the different question papers which had earlier for earlier exams. Okay, and the question paper pattern which I had shown in one of my lectures, and also you should also watch all of my videos. Okay, so it would be easy for you to understand the concepts. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe, and study online. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Enjoy the Ganesh Chaturthi with taking all the safety measures.